Joe Credak, Joprah,
As promised, Charlamagne the God.
Joprah.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm glad you up to date with what's going on out here in these streets.
Absolutely.
I got my sneaker. I brought out the vibe. I ain't bring these out in like 15 years, but being it with journalists, I brought I brought out the vibes.
You know what though? That's actually a great thing though, man. Because me and Nora used to talk about this all the time. We still do, but it's like inside the NBA when you got Kenny Smith and Shaquille and Charles Barkley, like who know the game better than y'all?
Thank you, my brother, man. And that's exactly how I feel about it. We commentators, we grow up, in the NBA, they get to play, then they get to coach, they get to commentate. Shout out to Timbo the King on the check-in.
Timbo.
And so that's what we doing. Me, I done got robbed by promoters and not got paid. I done got paid by quarters, for Fat Joe shows. I done been in favelas in Brazil, back to Africa, you name it. So I know it's, we first hands on. Now, Charlamagne,
Wait a minute. I refuse to believe you got robbed by a promoter.
Well, not actually robbed. He said he didn't have my money, so I had to take my pay in quarters.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So the man ain't have my money, so I was like, what you got? He was like, I got about 2,000 in quarters. I was like, give me the quarters, man. I need the quarters. It's crazy because Mobb Deep was mad at me. It was like 3 of us groups. Everybody got mad at me because they was like, damn, Joe, you took all the money. I said, the money? He owed me $10,000. I had to get my money. I took it in quarters, man.
Damn.
I got to go home with this bread.
Oh, see, I thought you were gonna tell me a nice Terror Squad beatdown story. That's how you had to get your money.
No. That's not what today's about. No, I'm a journalist.
Okay.
I say you the biggest hip hop journalist in the game right now. You have the biggest platform, and you're the biggest.
That means a lot. It means a lot coming from you. Thank you.
That's a fact, though. I'd be lying if I didn't. And I like to think of myself as the Dan Rathers of the 2020 of the hip hop community.
Okay.
So we're gonna have some real talk, Charlamagne.
Okay.
So Charlamagne, do you believe that Joe Biden's a racist?
I can't answer that question. I can't answer that question if I believe Joe Biden is a racist, but I can say that he's implemented policies that have absolutely been racist. Like you can't talk about, the 86 mandatory minimum sentencing bill, mandatory minimum sentencing for drug laws, or the 88 crack laws, or the 94 crime bill without saying that they disproportionately affected Black and brown people. So those policies
that's a fact,
are absolutely racist.
Let me ask you a question. So you're saying his policies are racist? You're not sure if he's a racist?
I mean, listen, he's a 78-year-old white man. I don't know. It's levels to racism, right? Like it's on a scale of 1 to get the fuck away from me, nigga. I don't think he's that. You know what I mean? But I mean, I think it's definitely some policies that he's implemented that have been absolutely racist. Especially, I think there was the 88 crack laws. He wrote that with Strom Thurmond. Strom Thurmond was absolutely racist. I'm from South Carolina. Strom Thurmond was a Dixie crack who absolutely, did not want segregation to be abolished. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't believe Joe Biden's a racist. Fat Joe does not believe Joe Biden's a racist. I do believe that if we went to 1988 Fat Joe, we would never believe he would be 2020 Fat Joe. The shit I was doing in 88 is so much different. So like there had to be a girl you broke her heart, some wild shit you did 20-something years ago, but we don't hold you accountable 20-something years later.
But we have to atone for that, though, and we have to hold ourselves accountable, and we have to grow and evolve. And I'm not saying he hasn't, but I'm saying whenever somebody brings up the 94 crime bill now, he makes excuses for it. Like he did when he was on Breakfast Club last week. Like he said that the 94 crime bill didn't cause mass incarceration. He actually said it was the 86 mandatory minimum sentencing laws. But I'm like, well, wait a minute, Joe, you were behind that too. So it's just like, that's why that was one of my questions for him. Like, why so much resistance just to say, look, that was wrong, and I'm going to implement legislation if I become president to atone for it.
Okay, so Joe Biden, there is no more Kamala, there is no more Cory Booker, there is no more Bernie. There's Joe Biden or Donald Trump. Who would you vote for? Joe Biden or Donald Trump?
I'm voting for whoever meets the demands that black people are putting in front of them.
So you would vote for Donald Trump?
I can't go that far. I'm not against voting for a conservative.
Look, yo, Charlamagne, we talking real shit, me and you.
Yeah, I mean,
you will not vote for Trump. I won't vote for Trump.
Yeah, I don't think I could vote for Trump only because he marginalizes a lot of other people. Right?
Here's the problem, Charlamagne. Right? When Donald Trump, not George Bush, not Reagan, when Donald Trump became president of the United States, the very next day, Fat Joe had trouble getting out the bed. And when I came out the building, I was at the Mandarin Oriental, I felt eerie and I felt the storm coming. And I actually gave myself credit for having courage to walk outside that day. That's how bad I knew it would be for black and brown people. So now, next thing you know, all Mexicans are rapists, drug dealers. They put the little kids in the cages in the border. He didn't care. Charlottesville, VA, those guys, the white supremacists, killed the woman, and he said they were nice people. Now you got guys protesting in Minnesota for Big George. He calls them thugs, does a press conference today, and didn't even acknowledge what's going on in America. Obviously,
you don't have to convince me that Trump is trash. No. But my point is, I just vote's a quid pro quo. Like clearly, if you look around at what's going on in society, there's a lot that needs to be done in the black community, like right now, right? So if Democrats made that mistake in 2016, where they didn't lean into us the way that they should have, and they didn't make a lot of policy commitments to us the way that they should have, they really need us this year in a real way. So why can't we get some policy commitments from Joe Biden?
I think we will.
Well, let's get them.
We'll have Stacey Abrams.
And by the way, all we're asking for is commitments. We're not even. He can't pass no legislation.
I think he has no choice but to commit. But what I'm saying to you is, us as black and brown people, you can't give us an inch of excuse not to stand on that line for 6 to 8 hours to go vote. Not an inch. If you give black and brown people, us, an excuse to not show up, they won't show up.
So that's my point.
So this is dangerous territory when my brother, P. Diddy, my brother, because he's my brother and I love him, and I love you too, start talking about, I don't know, the black vote ain't for sale. And listen, bro, it's a couple of months. It's Trump, it's Biden.
Listen, I don't like that mentality. The reason I don't like that mentality is this. Think about all of the corporate lobbyists or the young progressives who were voting for, who wanted to go with Sanders, or the corporate lobbyists who had faith in another candidate. Once their person is out, they're coming to Joe now asking for demands. They're coming to Vice President Biden asking for demands in return for their votes. There were 7 young progressive groups who all were going to support Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren. When those candidates were out, they wrote a letter to Joe Biden. You can look it up. And they said, we're not voting for you in November unless you do X, Y, and Z. AOC, who you've had on the Joprah show, AOC said, I'm voting for whoever the Democratic nominee is, so it's Biden, but I can't go out there and endorse him unless he makes some policy commitments to my people. I don't see why when black people do that, everybody got a problem.
I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying the timing, this is a very dangerous, and every time somebody comes up for presidential election, they say, this is the most important. No, this is the most important one.
So if it's important,
this is the most important one, because if Trump would have took COVID serious, maybe, and I'm not saying it's good, maybe 10,000 people would have died. There's countries They don't come nowhere close to us. Because this man was trying to save the stock market, there's over 100,000 people dead. This is a very dangerous.
Very, very, very true. And you know, you see the impact that coronavirus is having on the Black community. Like if there wasn't this thing called systemic racism that left the Black community so vulnerable to have all these underlying conditions, coronavirus may not have had the impact that it had. If we had access to better healthcare, if we had access to better food. So we can't sit here and act like Donald Trump created that. Donald Trump is just the symptom. White supremacy is the disease. Donald Trump's just a new old white man to me. That's the same. That's a new old cracker to me. We've seen 100 different versions.
Do you ever see
white devil?
So the way you saying this is it you saying, man, we fucked them, because if you look at the Congress, you look at the Senate, you look at the presidency, it's not like it's going to be black and brown presidents running through this motherfucker.
But
we got to deal with the old white man no matter what.
But all of that is up for grabs, though. It's like 6 pivotal Senate seats up for grabs. You got my man Jamie Harrison in South Carolina. He's a brother. I saw some polls today that said he's tied with Lindsey Graham. Like we can switch a Senate seat there. You know, like it's a lot of different things that can be done. That's why even now we're asking Joe Biden to have a Black woman vice president, a Black woman running mate. There's 3 sisters out there that are very qualified. 4: Stacey Abrams, Keisha Lance Bottoms, Senator Harris, Val Demings of Florida. Think about it. A week ago, Joe Biden said he said Amy Klobuchar was grade A. They were vetting her. It was looking like, oh damn, she might be his running mate. Now this week, what do we find out? Amy Klobuchar let off over 24 officers in Minneapolis, including the guy that killed the brother, and that same cop killed another Black man in 2006. So
yeah, but he's just being nice. He ain't picking no Amy's. He's picking Stacey Abrams. Or if we have a miracle on 34th Street, Michelle Obama. I know she don't want no parts of that White House, to me, it's Stacey Abrams or Michelle Obama if we have a miracle on 34th Street.
Michelle, it's not going to be Michelle.
It's not.
that ain't happening. Michelle don't want no parts of the White House.
Nah, she don't.
Nah, she don't want that. I mean, all her people say that. You've heard Val Jennings has said that. Susan Rice has said that. That's not happening.
Let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
Because we got to look at the context. Joe Biden stood next to Barack Obama. Barack Obama was a very unknown politician. Joe Biden was in there for years. Stood by his side. There was definitely older white guys looking at him like he's crazy. And in fact, Donald Trump dodged even joining the military, and Joe Biden lost his son for this country. I'm just giving you he's been around Black people his whole life. But I see you a little deeper with it, because my answer is he's not a racist. Your answer is, I don't know, Joe. So I understand.
Well, I'm just saying he's implemented policies that have actually absolutely disproportionately affected Black and brown people. You know what I'm saying? So I can't sit here and go so far and say that the man is a racist, because I don't.
What I'm trying to say is, when he says you ain't Black if you vote for Trump, well, are you Black if you vote for Trump?
Yes.
How do you figure?
Because if I leave this house, a racist ass cracker cop like the one in Minnesota don't know if I'm a Trump supporter unless I got the MAGA hat on. All he sees is my Black skin. So yes, he would treat me the same freaking way just because I'm a Black person. So whether or not those people who support Trump and vote for Trump that are Black know that they're Black, they are definitely Black. And America will always remind you that you are indeed a nigga.
I agree with that, but I'm saying you do understand the context in which Joe Biden was trying to tell you. He was a little bit comfortable on your show, right? And you know, as a journalist, if somebody you ain't forced him to say that, but if he stumbles across that, you viral, it's the biggest story in the world, they're talking about you everywhere. But this is scary. This is scary, because if people get up and don't say, yo, listen, man, we can't play. We got 2 guys. We got Joe Biden, we got Trump. So when he might have been too comfortable with you when he said that, but you do realize he wasn't saying that in a racist way, right?
Yeah, I don't think he was being racist at all. I think he was doing what a lot of those old white politicians normally do, and that's taking the black vote for granted, taking the black vote as a joke. He said it. He said, "Yo, I was being too cavalier. Why you cavalier with black people? You wouldn't be cavalier with them corporate lobbyists that's funding your campaign. You wouldn't be cavalier with Jewish people. So why you so cavalier with black folks?" That's all I'm saying. Like, yo, he just needs to stop taking black people for granted. Democrats as a whole need to stop taking black people for granted. And all we're asking for, Joe, is policy commitments. That's it. Yes, we want him to have a black woman running mate. He already committed to have a black woman on the Supreme Court, but he needs to commit to an economic black agenda for our community. Like, we see all these riots and stuff going on. You know why this is happening? It's happening because motherfuckers been out of work for the past few months. They can't keep no food on the table. They at the end of their rope. They at their wits' end. So of course they're gonna react the way that they're reacting right now. Like, this isn't a time where it's like, oh, everybody's, prospering and thriving. When people are prospering and thriving, you upset, but you're not upset like you are right now. And I just don't understand how America didn't understand we were getting to that tipping point. So now, being that we have a system of white supremacy that white people have never, ever atoned for. The original sin of America was slavery that has led to all of these underlying conditions now they've never atoned for. Why can't a white person, an old white politician, stand up and say, I want to right some of those wrongs? Simple as that.
I agree with that concept. I'm just telling you that I think he'll do it. And I think this is not the time to give anybody any way out. Because we got to go vote like if Obama was going for president.
They're always telling black people it's not the time. When will be the time then?
No,
That's all I want to know. Like if the time isn't when, black people are getting killed in the street, buildings are on fire.
How do you feel the day Donald Trump got elected?
I was sick. I went to the Jacob Javits Center with my daughter, my oldest daughter, thinking we was about to see the first female president get crowned. You know what I'm saying? So the next day I was sick, and then the day after that I was like, you know what? Let me see if there's any hope for optimism whatsoever. Because you want to wish the best for the country, right? You don't want the country to go to shit. But literally everything that could have possibly gone wrong has gone wrong with Donald Trump. It is as bad or worse as everybody thought it was going to be.
Now let me ask 100%. You something. As bad as it's been, this man's still trying somehow to get elected for a second time. How bad do you think it'll be if he gets elected a second time? And that's it. He got the second time. What type of shit you think he'll do? Donald Trump.
I agree. But doesn't it come a point where people got to stop voting out of fear? Because once again, Joe, all we're asking for is policy commitments. How hard is it for somebody like Joe Biden? How hard is it for Joe Biden to simply say, look, I want to create an economic justice plan for Black America? He could do it all under the guise of coronavirus. Coronavirus has impacted the Black community in the worst way, all because of those underlying conditions of systemic racism. How hard is it for him just to stand up and be like, it's time for America to atone for its original sin? Black people have always been there for Democrats. It's time for Democrats to be there for Black people. How hard is it to do that?
Martin Luther King said, riots are the voice of the unheard. I don't condone burning down a community. I never have, right? I understand the pain. I understand the passion. I've never condoned burning down our own community, because when the shit is over, we got to burn down Target. We got to burn down businesses and everything. But I understand the pain. And George Floyd, he just got killed on camera. You know how many people done been killed in our lifetimes that wasn't on camera? And I believe now's the time, just like you speaking, I believe now with this is the time. And this is the first time, because I've watched many of people die, whoever you name. I never seen one cop come on social media and say, Yo, you know what? That's fucked up. They killed him. That was murder. I've never in my lifetime, Fat Joe, seen that. With this murder right here, I've seen so many police officers come out and say that's wrong. They killed him. That's murder. They killed him. Do you think we finally hit that point to where we're going to get laws changed in our favor and actually take a lot of these police, because the main thing is these police officers, they think they're holier than thou. They hide behind a badge and they're able to kill anybody. Because that white guy who killed George, he had no look of fear in his face.
Yeah, because he's done it before.
Violence,
yeah,
not a violence, nor camera, no nothing. He knows, yo, they just don't convict cops for killing people. And
he shot a brother and killed him.
I'm gonna kill him in front of you.
Yeah, he killed the brother in 2006. He shot and killed the brother in 2006 and has shot multiple civilians while in uniform. That is a fact.
How the fuck you shoot people? How do you fucking shoot people on a daily basis? Like, how do you like?
I'll tell you this though. Even when it comes to the looting, we don't own that goddamn Target. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we burning down our own. It's not like we burning down our own shit.
Yeah, but you know, so the Target got insurance, but in 2 weeks, your shit looked like a battle zone, and your shit and you fucked. You ain't got no businesses around. That's all I'm saying, right? You know, my father, he would come home from drinking a lot when we was kids, and he'd be so mad he lost his money gambling. He come break the only TV we got. And when I was a little kid, I remember being 6, 7 years old, being like, yo, my pops is stupid. He got to buy a new TV now. We need TV. So
I can't care more about the Target than I care about black people being a target.
That's a fact.
Let the Target burn, let the police precinct burn, because, you know, that is absolutely what I think is supposed to happen right now. I think the first law of nature is self-preservation. And I think that, you know, it's just a bunch of people out here just simply trying to survive. And I think that's just their way of trying to survive. Even when you talk about the looting, it's two ways to look at it, right? What if you needed groceries? What if you know, couldn't afford groceries the past few months? Of course you're going to run up in the store and steal groceries. But, man, as a black person, sometimes you just want some joy. So if stealing that goddamn TV and taking it home and hanging up in your fucking house make you feel some joy, you deserve that, brother. Shit, this country ain't giving us shit out. They owe us anyway. They owe us reparations for slavery, for the war on drugs. Fuck it. Take it. Take the goddamn flat screen. Enjoy, my brother. Enjoy, sister.
You calling it a stimulus plan.
Listen, I have no problem with what they're doing in Minnesota and Minneapolis whatsoever.
I would have took the shit too. I don't condone it, but if I was there and I was a young cat and I ain't had no money, I'd have ran into Target too. I ain't gonna lie. I don't condone it. I don't believe in fucking up our own hood, but I would have took it too. I ain't, you know.
That ain't our Target. If that was a mom and pop black owned business, I'd be like, okay, why are we doing that? We don't own that AutoZone. We don't own that Target, man. Listen, I hope that it's some people in Minneapolis when that curfew kicks in. I think the curfew kicks in at 8 o'clock their time.
Yeah.
When that curfew kicks in, I hope they got a nice big flat screen to watch tonight, courtesy of Target.
So you get the tweets in the morning that says, so we're waiting for some compassionate speech. We're waiting for, yo, I'm behind this. I see our people are upset at the killing. We're going to bring justice to light. And your man says, when they start the loot, we start to shoot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, words are very powerful.
I think with Trump, man, like when people show you who they are, believe them. Like there's nothing anybody can convince you of when it comes to Donald Trump. He is a white devil. He is the epitome of a cracker-ass cracker. He don't care about nothing but himself. He don't care about nothing but himself. So I don't expect anything of him. I really don't. And by the way, even when people talk about he's a terrible president. Yeah, that's what happens when you make the executive producer a celebrity apprentice, the president of the United States of America. Joe, would you let me fly your plane?
Hell no.
All right.
All right. Hell no.
All right. You know what I'm saying?
But what I'm trying to tell you is, I'm hit. And I know we got to get rid of this guy by voting. So I'm saying we don't have the choice. We have Joe Biden. We have Trump. That's all I'm trying to say is, and if we dilute it and we give anybody an opportunity to say, yo, you know what, I want that line too long over there.
But Joe, you talk to these brothers and sisters in the hood, like their communities have been the same for decades, regardless of who's in the White House. So if you're trying to energize a campaign and build enthusiasm for your campaign, what we're actually telling Joe
but this is the closest. To do that. This is the closest we have been in communication with someone going for president in our life. The fact that he'll go on a show with you, Ronald Reagan wouldn't have done that shit. Donald Trump ain't doing that shit. The fact that he'll go on a show with you and try to show us, yo, look, I'm trying to do this and this and that, means that it's the closest we've ever been to talking to somebody in that lane of power.
But look at his approach, though. He came on the show arrogant. He came on the show yelling, screaming, talking crazy. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he even said today on CNN that I baited him into saying that. Like, yo, that now is not the time as an old white man to be blaming your bullshit on black folks. Okay.
No, he misspoke. He misspoke.
He didn't misspeak. He said what he wanted to say. And listen, I'm not even mad at what he said. Like, that's not my point. My point is simply this. It's what I said after he said that. It's not about voting for Trump. It's about what are you going to do for my community? Why the Democrats in particular? Because black people vote for them 90% of the time in all elections. Okay, we've all dealt with women, right, throughout our lifetime, right? The women that's constantly sleeping with us and you know letting us do whatever to them. That's the woman that's gonna come to you and ask you for something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she should. So being that we support them 90% of the time in all elections, that's the party we should be going to and asking for something. That's where our votes, I think, have the most power with that party. So what's wrong with asking the Democratic Party for demands for black people?
Nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with it. But what I'm saying to you is, when they talk about the policy and they give you the policies and they give you better policies than was ever implemented for the black community, there's got to be a point where we got to say, all right, we going for the guy.
I mean, listen, I need some policy commitments, man. I need a black woman running mate. He already committed to having a black woman on the Supreme Court.
But I don't know where you go. So you say, forget Biden. I ain't getting the talk I want. Let's let Trump rock for 4 more years. Yo,
you play poker, right, Joe? Or you've played poker, right?
I'm not good at poker.
Me neither, but I understand the premise of it, I think. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm not committing to nobody until I see that individual commit to the black community in a real way. And he was on CNN today, and he did say, he said verbatim damn near, he said, yo, we got to atone for America's original sin. That's the kind of talk I want to hear.
I've been hearing that talk. Even at the presidential, when they start talking about systemic racism, when they start talking about, this is the first time I heard them even acknowledging all this. And I think like Bernie, you know what I mean? Guys, what's her name? Elizabeth Warren, for pushing those issues. You know what I'm saying? That was to the forefront. And
I really think if the pressure wasn't on him right now, I really think Amy Klobuchar would be his running mate. Amy Klobuchar, who let off 24 police officers in Minnesota, Minneapolis.
I don't know,
yo. I don't know.
Listen, Charlamagne, your man was at the last string over there in North Carolina, and it was Black America that came out and said, yo, they voted for Biden and they made him the nominee. The guy ain't crazy. He ain't on drugs. At least we don't think so. He know he got to do something for the Black community. This has never been more obvious.
I agree. Listen, I agree with you.
Just to give a compliment to Amy Klobuchar, you know, I don't believe
listen,
so.
They vetted her.
And listen, right? Everybody who's on here, whether you Charlamagne fans or you Fat Joe fans, Fat Joe is not viable. This is a conversation I'm having with my brother, because there's a lot of folks out there that could be persuaded, because, you know, we have big platforms and we big personalities. And all I'm trying to say is we only have 2 candidates. I've never met Joe Biden. I don't know him. I don't get no money from Joe Biden. I don't give a fuck. We're just talking about real shit right now that our community has to hear. It's as simple as that. You know?
Absolutely.
You know, politics, man.
I see people in the comments, Joe, saying, you know, we should have been asking for these things during the primaries. We were. Y'all clearly weren't paying attention. Every single presidential candidate on the Democratic side that came to the Breakfast Club, we wanted to know what your Black agenda was. We made it clear to them that if they didn't have a Black agenda this year, they was gonna have a hard time getting the Black vote. We asked every single candidate about reparations. That's why for the first time in a long time, you had about 4 or 5 candidates who all had Black agendas. Elizabeth Warren had a Black agenda. Mayor Bloomberg had a Black agenda. Mayor Pete had a Black agenda. I'm missing somebody, but they all had Black agendas. Like it was like
Cory Booker.
He didn't. Cory was the first one. Cory got caught out there because he was the first candidate to come out of everybody last year. He did not have a Black agenda. He tried to hit us with the a rising tide, lift all boats rhetoric, and we don't want to hear that no more because we know Black people ain't got no fucking boat. And if we do got a boat, it got a hole in it. So it don't rise when America rises. So when he got caught out there, that's when everybody started to realize, like, okay, we really gonna have to have a black agenda this year. Castro, Al Lindstrom just reminded me, Castro had a Black agenda. Yep. And
listen, my brother, I ask anybody who comes on here, and you know, it's a big show, Charlamagne. You know, I've had the biggest coming through here. Like this show on fire, Charlamagne. This is the big
Joprah.
Big show. Self-made. You hear me? Now listen. I want to hear your top 5 of all time.
Rappers?
Yes.
I actually got a top 7.
Nah. It ain't hard, top 7. Top 7 ain't as hard. Because then you can throw in the, you know what I'm saying? You can throw in top 5.
My top 5, my personal favorite rapper of all time is Ghostface Killah. That's my personal favorite rapper of all time. Ghostface Killah. Then Hove. Then Scarface. Ooh. Then Killer Mike.
Killer Mike, one of your top 5.
Yeah. Then Killer Mike. Then T.I. And then yeah.
That's 5.
Can I do 2 honorable mentions though? Just 2 honorable mentions.
2 honorable mentions.
I gotta say Nasir Jones and Jeezy are my 2 honorable mentions.
That's hard. That's hard.
Yeah.
Like Jeezy, you know, Jeezy, man, I remember when Obama got elected, man, we ran to the club and they played My President is Black about 1,000 times. And,
I was here. I was in the club. I was actually living in New York, but I was in the club that night.
Killer Mike, I love him. I love Killer Mike as a person, as speaking his mind. I don't know if he would make, he's a dope rapper. I don't know if he would make my top. He wouldn't make my top 5.
But the ill thing about Killer Mike though is he raps the way he talks. Like the person that Killer Mike is reflected in his music. And it's always been like that. Like I first met Mike in like 01, 02. And the same person he is now, he's always been that person. Just
I seen you on the verse. I love Killer Mike. I know him too many years.
Yeah.
I seen you on the verses the night I was going for Scott Storch. My brother gave me my biggest hits, and you going for Manny Fresh, and you really thought that Manny Fresh would beat Scott Storch?
In my heart, if I'm thinking logically in my head, probably not. But my heart, growing up down south in South Carolina, yes, Manny got them joints. I knew it was gonna be a lot closer than people thought it would be. Like, you had it like 20-0. Like, stop, Joe. Like, that was just ridiculous.
Listen.
Stop.
Listen,
stop.
Yo, Manny
Black
Fresh
that ass
is
up
my
as a
friend.
Negro spiritual.
Yo, listen, Manny Fresh is my guy. Like, I've hung out with him and his wife, and me and my wife, but Scott Storch got the biggest hits in the universe, bro. I knew he didn't have a chance. Like, Manny Fresh, yes, he started Cash Money. He got the sound. He's that dude. He's the culture. He was up against a big, big monster.
So what do we say about Scott when, you know, they're talking about Dre battling people, right? What happens when Dre battles people and he plays like seven of those same songs?
Charlamagne, they'll all break your heart, man. They all work with each other. They'll all break your heart, man. When you come out, when the Kanye battle come on, you know, Travis might text like, yo, I did that with you. Like, it's like everybody who's the greatest rapper, greatest producer, they all work with each other. It's, all of them. Timberland's on here now. Swiss is on here now.
I remember when Timberland was calling Scott the Piano Man, when they was doing diss records back and forth.
Nah, they had a battle for real.
I remember that.
Yo, it's crazy because, it's great because I love Tim and I love Scott. And I remember Scott came and played me his diss record in the Maybach in front of my house. I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, this is out of control now. Like,
Did you make some calls?
No, it's out of control. So man,
but no disrespect to Scott Storch though. Scott Storch is phenomenal. He's a amazing producer. That's one of the reasons I like the verses, because it's a lot of people that should be getting flowers who not getting flowers. I don't think Scott.
Who's the ultimate battle? Who would you love to see ultimate battle? I got mine's already here.
Ultimate battle, man. I don't know. I think, it would be a good one. It's almost like Big Brother versus Little Brother. I think Hov versus Kanye would be very dope. I think Hov versus Kanye would be very, very dope. Because those are very, like, you're talking about two of the best catalogs ever in the history of rap solo catalogs. So to see those two would be, like, incredible.
You know, my ultimate battle would probably be Kanye and Pharrell. That's the ultimate battle because they both produce for everybody. They both. That's the one that I'll lose my mind if it goes down. You know, and Charlamagne, I'm scared to ask you this next question. So did you hear when I said nobody could beat Eminem?
That's not true. There's a bunch of rappers that'll wash Eminem.
Nah, man, yo, Charlamagne,
what are you talking? What do you mean? You mean it's like a versus or a versus or rapping?
In a versus.
I can name 7 rappers right now that'll wash Eminem in a versus.
You name 7 rappers that'll wash Eminem.
Jay-Z will wash Eminem in a versus.
Kanye will
wash Eminem in a versus.
Let me explain something to you.
Lil Wayne will wash Eminem in a versus. DMX will wash Eminem in a versus. A versus?
I think we're gonna have that. I think we're gonna have DMX, Eminem. Now, when I'm telling you, when that fan base get on them verses, if you think Nicki Minaj got the Beehive or who's Beyonce's crew? What's Beyonce's crew?
The Beehive.
The Beehive. And you think Nicki Minaj got the what's the girl she got?
The Barbs.
The Barbs. You're gonna see the stands on there, and we're barely gonna get a talk in.
Yeah, but that don't mean that his 20 will be better than anybody I just named. I think T.I. will watch Eminem in a versus. 20 songs
man,
versus
yo, listen,
20
y'all
versus
stop,
20.
man. They all my friends. Everybody you mentioning is my friends.
Eminem. So Joe, you was right. Joe. You just throw Eminem on in the house.
I'm media now. I need them to come on my show, man. You gotta stop. You trapped me under the bus.
I'm not knocking M. It's just that I never related to Eminem's music like that. I never wanted to kill my mother. I never wanted to kill my baby mom.
All right. Yo, it's entertainment. Yo, you gotta stop, Charlamagne.
I wasn't into that.
So you never been into Eminem?
Listen, I acknowledge Eminem is one of the dopest rappers of all time. I do think that, you know, if he was black, he'd be Redman, because I think Redman is just that phenomenal, right? I think Redman is just
Redman is really phenomenal. He's one of my favorite rappers of all time. But Eminem wouldn't just be. No, he won't. I'm telling you.
M is acknowledged he gets a lot of his shit from Redman, though.
No, I agree. Redman is phenomenal. He's one of the most underrated rappers in the history of rap music.
That's a fact.
He is that nice. Him and Tretch. Him and Tretch.
Yes.
Naughty by Nature. They're both two underrated, phenomenal artists. But Eminem, let me tell you something. It's certain rappers. It's Big Pun. It's Jay-Z. It's Nas. It's Eminem.
Nas will watch Eminem versus.
Who?
Nas will watch Eminem versus.
Yo, listen, bro.
I'll take the whole Capital Punishment album.
Yo, listen to me.
Listen to me.
Listen to me. You're not gonna get your comment in when you try to diss Eminem on a versus. It's gonna be so backed up. It's gonna be so clogged up. You're not gonna get a comment in.
But the music
got the most. He has the most loyal fans in the universe.
But the cast, he still got to play them songs. Like my name is.
Stop.
Hi, my name is.
Yo, yeah, that's a big song.
Compared to what?
No. Hi, my name is.
That's gonna beat song. That's gonna beat Lil Wayne or Millie, or that's gonna beat T.I. What you know about that?
Might.
That's gonna beat Jay-Z. You don't know. That's gonna beat DMX. Get at me, dog. No.
Listen to me. It might. We talking about Eminem. The guy been #1 his whole life.
That's because there's more white people in America than anybody else.
So who you gonna be on the comments? So now we gonna run him out of here because he. Yo, you gotta stop. Yo,
I just don't see it. In a versus, if it was a battle like rhyming, I'd be like, M can get with anybody. But song for song, M ain't got no club bangers.
Songs for songs. He got songs. You just put Killer Mike on your top box.
For lyric, I like his lyrics.
There's some people that don't know Killer Mike's music, man, out there. Right?
What Eminem song plays in the club?
I know he got songs that play in the club, man.
What?
No, Eminem got songs that play, but they're different. They're different artists. Listen, there's different artists, but it's different lanes to everybody. The reason why hip hop is so beautiful is so diverse. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, I can love,
Hey, DJ Camilo said the biggest club song M got is Lean Back Remix.
Yo, Camilo gotta stop. Nah, y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop.
Envy said M got 0 club records.
So Envy's on here commenting. Yeah, Envy, you gotta stop. So, okay, it's gonna happen, guys, and y'all gonna be very upset.
M's gonna get embarrassed. If M go against DMX, he's gonna get embarrassed.
Yo, the boss lady's on the check, and happy birthday, Dear Mitchum. I love you.
What up, Coach? What up, Coach?
Oh, you call her Coach?
Coach, man, that's the boss. I don't know what I would do without there.
She's the boss, and she's my sister. And what's crazy about there is I am the first and only artist to ever be her friend, like as a friend. And
I can see that.
It's just out of love. We don't talk about music. We talk about the barge. We talk about the bars. And feel like all the light-skinned guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. Nah, I'm telling you. They'll feel that I'll be sure her top 3 is the Barge, Babyface, I'll be sure. Like, she got a problem with it. Like, but I feel the same way. I love the Barge like that and Babyface like that. You know, with I had Babyface over Teddy Riley. You know what I'm saying? That was just me because I love songs and
that was a tough that was a tough one, man. Those are 2 gods. Those are 2 icons. Like that should have been a true celebration. Like that's the architect of New Jack Swing, and that's Babyface, probably the greatest R&B songwriter ever. Like you can't like certain things you can't say who's better. Like, you know what I mean? Not like, nah. Certain ones you can't. Certain ones should just be celebration. Like Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, that's just a celebration for me. I can't say who's
Womanhood celebration.
Yeah, I can't say who's better. I love both of them. I can't say who's better. Only thing I can say without a shadow of a doubt.
Jill Scott and don't kill me, Charlamagne. Jill Scott got away with almost like the Manny Fresh, where Manny Fresh played some records that if you don't live in the South or New Orleans, you don't know him. Up against #1 hits. Jill Scott, she played some of the most beautiful songs I ever heard in my life, but there was a couple she played that meant so much to her that we didn't know.
I knew every single one of them because my wife, those are my wife's 2 favorite artists, Erykah Badu and Jill Scott. I've been to so many Erykah Badu and Jill Scott concerts. I've been to the Sugar Water festivals. Like, if Jill Scott is in town, we going to see Jill Scott. If Erykah's in town,
I love
we going
that.
to see
I love that. I'm the same with Keith Sweat. I'm the same. You know, my wife, she loved Young Jeezy, Mary J. Blige. I've been to 10,000 Mary J. 10,000 Mary J. concerts. And every time it feel like brand new.
Word. Absolutely.
That's what's so amazing about Mary and her concerts. It's like every time I go, I feel like it's brand new. And so you know, so I like being a fan. I love going to the concerts. I love you know, just being a fan. You know what I mean? I don't really like to be backstage. Eric B is on here. Every time I go to an Eric B. Rakim show, he get mad at me. They want me to be on stage with them and hanging out, and I want to be in the crowd. I want to feel that. I want to be, you know, Mary J. against who? I don't know. You know,
Mary J. will watch anybody.
Huh?
Mary J. will watch anybody. Mary J. versus everybody. Mary J. will watch everybody. Catalog. 20 songs, Mary will watch anybody, male or female. Male or female, Mary watches everybody.
I agree.
Mary will watch Eminem.
The other day, you gotta stop. The other day we had Keisha Cole. I mean, Ashanti here, and I just said to myself, yo, what if you battle Keisha Cole?
That's a good one.
And the other day I was up in the balcony and I played Keisha Cole Essentials. And I was like, oh no, this shit would be a battle. Like,
that's a good one.
They would have to win battle, Keisha Cole and Ashanti.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
My brother, man, God bless you, man. Thank you for coming on.
Joprah.
Appreciate you. I know we went a little bit over time, but you know, we was talking that real shit.
I appreciate you, King.
Love you, my brother.
My brother. Peace. Love.